So my 60-day plan of what to do to promote your music has become a staple of what so many artists do to blow up their songs. And this channel's comments are littered with people it's worked for, and I'm really proud of that. Since knowing what to post each day can be pretty confusing, and frankly, a lot changed in the last 13 months since I updated you, and we need to get your plan up to date. So this video, I'm gonna show you what I would promote each day while you promote your single to be as effective as possible, and so you have something you can draw from and learn how to promote yourself as well as you can without putting in extra work that you really don't need to do. And in the description, there's a link for a free spreadsheet so you can follow along and build your own plan and get it organized that I give out with this video every single year. And there's also chapters on this video. If you already know what I'm talking about, feel free to use them to skip ahead. And we're gonna teach you all the ways to think about how you get your song to blow up as much as it can. So before we get started, you may at some point get confused because you may not know about my method of releasing a song every 4 to 8 weeks and why that is the most effective pace to release music. It helps to have watched the video I made on that, and luckily down in the description there's a link to that video along with a roadmap where you can walk through my method to go from 0 to 1 million fans and find every bit of info you're missing to blow up your music. Okay, but before we even get started, we should make sure we got what we need before we even start promoting. First and most importantly, I would suggest that you have a lot of the content we're going to discuss produced in advance for 2 to 3 songs, aka about 6 months of promotion. For everyone who thinks this is unrealistic, this video is exactly for you. That's because on this channel, we're always talking about how consistent, sustained promotion is one of the main keys to promoting your music. And the way the consistent part of that usually fails is that you don't have a ton of content already made so that you're ahead when things go wrong, or when they go really right and you get really busy. Truly, this is the most important factor of what we're about to do. This means when you have a bad week because that baddie who puts up fit pics of all the clothes that they return to Amazon the next day starts leaving you on red because they heard the trash verse you just posted. Well, while you lay in bed depressed for 2 weeks, you're still ahead of your promotions when you're crying your eyes out because you made all this content in advance, knowing this was gonna happen to you again. Hopefully once you're out of bed from the heartbreak, you can stay on track with your music promotions because you were so prepared in advance and have all this content already done to make all of your promotions super easy, and so you have time to react to the flood of comments you're getting when this goes well. And when that Amazon return aficionado slides back into your DMs for your song blowing up, well, you have enough time to think of a witty response of why you're talking to her again. This is the way you won't lose out on how much consistency really helps you promote your music and help you be perceived as someone who takes their music seriously, so your community gives you opportunities, since so much of what we're doing also is that people give opportunities to the artists who are making big, consistent moves, who they're reminded of by seeing their posts on social media and who they see taking things seriously. So let's say you have the following things ready. Your next 2 songs mastered, 2 minimum viable videos, and if you don't know what those are, there's a video in the description. And then you also have a lyric video and the music video made for those songs. Then you have a bunch of art, photos, behind the scenes footage, and other photos that you can use to promote and tell stories around your songs. This means if you have all this, you're ready to start promoting your song. So let's first get this out of the way. We're gonna release your song on a Tuesday. And why Tuesday, you may ask? Since I'm often asked what day to release music on it, and my answer is always Tuesday through Thursday. Your favorite artists flood the zone with music on Fridays, and your fans are too busy listening to the artists they already know who put out music on Friday. And your music is probably not going to be the fix someone's looking for, since why do they need to search for new music when their fave is already putting out new music on that day? Saturday and Sunday, much less people are on the internet and social media, so that's a bad idea to release then, and people are listening to those new releases that came out on Friday. Monday, everybody's busy catching up on bullshit, like a flood of emails being back at work, all the schoolwork they didn't do. So Tuesday through Thursday is your best bet in my opinion. And Tuesday is really important since it's so crucial to engage your fans on social media. Since we want to get early streams, and that's the most amount of days during the week where it's not the weekend where you can break through and get your fans engaged, and the early days of your promotions are really crucial. And I should say, you will notice this promotional plan is much more of a daily, putting a small rock to build a big pile rather than an all-day grind every day. Now let's talk quantity. Release day and music video release day are the only 2 days I really advise flooding social media and your community, and instead, all the other days are just the steady reminders and storytelling that help remind people to listen and help give you deeper bonding to the song. This lets your audience not be overwhelmed with your presence. It gives you time to work on building community and keep writing songs. videos. We have to remember that getting to effectively promote your song is that you cut through the algorithm with effective posts, not just a ton of boring posts. And this promotion plan starts on the day of releasing your song. And I know some of the absolute hacks who do these YouTube release plans do 14 days of promoting your song before anyone can hear it. But I have a surprise for you. There's a reason those people aren't making videos anymore. It's because this was dumb and it worked for no one. 14 days is too short a time to really push and break a song through if you really believe in it. So for the 2 weeks before you release your song though, I want you to make some drops in Tribly, a free service I made a video on which will allow you to trade emails, texts, or pre-saves for life for a preview of your song or download. And if you have the money and a lot of momentum, there's a service called Laylo that can do some more advanced features that I really like for this as well, but it's a lot more money. The reason this is a big deal is if we could get emails and texts from the fans who like you the most, we can alert them at midnight when your song drops, since these are the fans who are most likely to listen to your song repeatedly and drive up your popularity score, which helps get you in the algorithm and on editorial playlists. And when you don't email them, there's a big chance that they missed that your song came out and you miss out on all these days where they could have driven you into the algorithm. Since one of the things we learned from my podcast partners, Andrew Southworth, is that when you get your popularity score up, you go into the algorithm more. So the more we can drive that up with the people most likely to drive up that score, well, that really helps. But it also makes sure that they don't miss the announcements. Since I recently made a video on how in a For You page world, it's easy to miss announcements from our favorite artists, even when we follow them on social media, since anyone who's been promoting on social media in recent years knows that your announcement posts often fail unless you do very certain things. And I do have a video about that and how to get your announcements to break through on the roadmap. But this is all leading me to say, it's so important to send out an email and a text to your entire list at midnight when your song is out, since this will send to the people that will really help you. So get it out right at midnight of release day so it's waiting in your fans' mailbox for them when they see it. But one of the things I do want to emphasize is that teasing your song like your favorite big artist is not for you if you're a smaller artist. Now, I have a whole video on testing songs and what that's about and why teasing songs is not always for you that is on the roadmap and on the screen right now. But if you do really want to tease your song beforehand, there is a way to do it smart. And I suggest using Tribly to give fans a download of the song if they like it so they can listen repeatedly and up their relationship with you. Since the biggest problem with teasing songs is fans can't often hear the whole song and get addicted to it. Now, for those of you who are building up to releasing an album, you should also enable a Spotify countdown if you qualify for it, as well as waterfalling your release. And if you want to go deeper on waterfalling and learn that yes, waterfalls are still great despite what some really dumb people say, along with AI versions of Peter Griffin that say total bullshit things on social media all day because they're AI, I have a whole video on the roadmap that will show you why this still works. But let's talk some strategy with music videos now that we're in the minimum viable video era. You may have heard me talk about this previously, and going into 2026, this is only becoming more and more popular as well as effective for promoting music. So many of you know that my release strategy is to on day one release a minimum viable video. Then 2 weeks later, a lyric video or visualizer. Then 2 weeks later, a music video that's a lot more involved. And then 2 weeks later after, a music video that's a bit higher production than your minimum viable video. Well, many of you are like, fuck this music video thing, I'm just gonna make a minimum viable video since they're getting crazy views with little investment. So what I advise here is to harness the power of attention propensity to doing eventful things. And if that all sounds like voodoo I just made up, I promise you, I explain it like you're 5 in my release strategy video that's linked on the screen now in the roadmap. Anyway, here's what I advise. If you only plan on doing a minimum viable video, make one with very little motion. It could be just 5 pictures rotating a looped slice of your minimum viable video with some motion, so that way when you're promoting with all these short form videos, you have a video from day one that has motion that the broken brains from scrolling TikTok, Reels, and Shorts all day will stick around since they need stimulation. The motion can be minimal, like look at this video from Tommy Richmond for his #2 song, $1 Million Baby. He then, after that, made a minimum viable video of some party footage and lyrics as the MVV for the music video. I also recently made a video for my members only feed that's linked in the description on how Nina Geraci did this for her breakout record in 2025 that launched her into stardom, and how amazingly effective her minimum viable video strategy was, along with one key video that was really high budget. This is all we need these days. Big music videos with great ideas fans will share, and they are awesome. They really help you build, but you do not have to do them anymore. It's better to have one video for every song that you're promoting hard to keep the attention span broken minds entertained. But we have a big myth we have to dispel. I want to get this into your head. We have to remember so many of you assume you can tell what content does better on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube Shorts, and that you should then promote to that app based on really anecdotal evidence that you're kind of guessing at. Straight up, I work with some of the smartest people who do music promotion every single day, and what we see is that no one can predict accurately what content will do better on any of the 3 short-form video apps. Now, it is most likely that it will not be YouTube Shorts, since generally YouTube Shorts doesn't work best for most musicians, but sometimes it does surprise you, and it's the one an artist is doing best on. But I advise every musician to post on all 3 formats at first, assuming each format will be their biggest one, and then as time goes on, you can see which platform you find your people on, and if you need to spend more time effectively, feel free to devote more energy to the one platform that you're seeing the most success on, but until then, post as if any of them could be your strongest. But let's first discuss the number one thing that's going to be a big change from last year's video like this. I started to hit at this in a recent video I made that's a 4-hour full course on how to promote your music that I made to obsolete these course-selling grifters by giving you a free, thorough course. It's literally the most thorough course on music marketing today, and it's completely free. But part of what I talked about was the biggest change in music marketing of the last year is that we went from artist development and your positioning in it to being very important to being the thing that makes the biggest difference on these short form video apps. The fact is, what makes thumbs stop massaging their screen and someone watch a video is when they see an artist that looks like someone in their genre that seems unique and worth knowing. There's a handful of factors I discuss about knowing how to do this in that video, and it's a lot of what I'm discussing in the next videos on this channel, so if you're interested in that, you should really like, subscribe, and get notified when I post videos, since so many of you miss videos that you wish you didn't miss. But anyway, what we now need to do in order to promote effectively on these apps is come up with things that help define you as an artist and make videos where you create trends around who people know you as, what they see you as an artist, and the emotions of your songs, rather than just participating in trends and following what everyone else is doing. This gets fans excited and sees you as a leader, not a follower, as an artist that they should know about because they're doing something fresh and new they haven't seen before, because these people have been scrolling these apps for so long, they've seen everyone doing those same videos over and over again. So coming up with ideas that center around your artist message, who you uniquely are, and what sets you apart from other artists, and what's unique about your songs, the things you're singing about, really work to get thumbs stopping the scroll. And I should say, I'm not saying to never make a video that's a bit of a trend again. I'm not saying to not do trending audio. It's one thing to do a trend if it fits perfectly into what you are as an artist and you can use it to show who you are. But a good thought experiment whenever you want to participate in a trend is, would you make that video with that trend or the trending audio if it wasn't going viral and you saw no views on the video where you discovered that trending audio or that trend? Doing it just because it's trending is going to get you nowhere. And if you don't believe me, head to the section of the map titled Cautionary Tales and I'll show you, since I have concrete examples of how this fails artists. But really, I see the artists who are blowing up the most on these apps. They do a simple practice and experiment every time they're scrolling. They see a musician doing something, and it could be a musician from a totally different genre, and they ask themselves, how would I flip this video to make it like me as an artist? And that's where a lot of the best ideas come from, is putting your spin on something you see another artist doing and improving upon it, or putting your flavor and character on it. Okay, but now we gotta get into what you should be posting. And as I've been trying to reiterate, we are moving away from just posting the same prompts that everyone else does, like POV, is this the song of the summer? Instead, we want to be thinking of what you can do as an artist that sets you apart. So when people are scrolling, they don't go, hey, it's another person doing that same thing. And they go, this artist is special. They're doing something different than everyone else. Because that's what we really want. Right? So I'm going to first break this down on a higher level of what type of posts there are so that you can figure out what the purpose of each one is and know what to post. Think of your TikToks or Reels page like a circus tent with 10 supporting poles. 2 massive center poles form the highest peaks. These need to get the most views and draw people in from a distance. Since these poles are the highest when people see them, making a unique shape out of nowhere where every other building doesn't look like a circus tent, they think they want to come in and see what's going on inside. at this unique shape. And the reason these polls are highest is we want their views to be the highest, since that's what's healthy and will get you the initial attention where people will come investigate what else is up with you. These polls, along with the ones in the front, talk to people as if they have no idea who you are. One of the things we have to remember about For You pages is this is the first time in social media where we're talking to strangers more than followers, which gives all of you with very few fans a huge chance. So we want to show them something that may excite them to know more and investigate you. But here's the critical part. If your supporting polls consistently outperform your center polls, your entire structure becomes unstable. People get confused about what your page is actually about, and you're not going to bring a lot of new people in and just entertain your followers, and the tent might collapse. Now, you could potentially make all these polls work if what's happening inside is incredibly compelling, but everything works better when all the polls are properly positioned like I'm showing here. When your tent structure is solid, your page becomes more diverse and creates a better overall experience. You know how all of you tend to ask me, oh, aren't my fans going to get sick of me posting the same things? Well, if you're alternating between all these different types of posts, no, they're not. Let me break down what each poll represents, though, so this metaphor makes more practical sense. The two massive center polls that should dominate your performance metrics are, first, stories around your new songs. These are videos that create compelling narratives around your latest release. Not just, here's my new song, but actual storytelling or context around your song, something that will give them meaning or a reason to be more curious to hear your song and hear the full version of it, or look at your profile and go deeper with you. Now, the story could be a quick sentence of just common context, like, this is the soundtrack when you're the type of quirked up white girl who scares the bros. But then the other category is stories around your old songs. Since yes, we see most of the artists that are performing well on the short form video apps really are promoting old songs as well, and those old songs usually have proof of concept and are getting them a lot of attention. So this is content that brings fresh perspective to your existing catalog. You know, as you promote your song for a while, you start to hear new way fans relate to it. You start to think about it with new depth and then start talking about it in new ways. Find new angles, share creation stories, or connect older tracks to newer moments. Now you might ask, should these be equal? Should I promote old songs and new songs at the same intensity? Not necessarily. We're going to kind of get into that as we go, but the key is that both of these categories should consistently outperform everything else on your page and be what brings new people to come over and hopefully watch your other videos and go deeper with you as a musician and stream your songs. Now that we've established the center tent poles, think about your tent as having a front entrance that sometimes people just walk over to and they didn't see the top. They're just interested in what's here because they got this first. The front has the main opening where a lot of people will enter. And those posts in the back are rarely where people are going to lift up the tent and come in, because the primary traffic flow usually comes from the front entrance. And at your main entrance, you have your primary discovery content. First being audience finding videos. These are those, if you like this artist, you'll like me type videos. But they don't need to be as basic as that. But they're a simple concept where you do something to show the genre, culture, or the other artists that you might be similar to. And I know a lot of you find these low aura, slop, cringeworthy, and yes, there's much better ways to execute them. And I of course have a video on how to do these on the roadmap, but really, if you're in algorithmic jail or you're having trouble getting people to find what type of music you make and to be the right type of audience, these are very effective, which is why we sometimes do them. Everyone knows they're not the best thing to be making, but sometimes they're necessary so the algorithm can find who to send you to. And the reason these work, especially if you're stuck in algorithmic jail, is they teach the algorithm exactly who your audience is and how to find more people like them. But secondly, we have outside influence videos. You know I've been talking about these a lot lately. That's when another account most likely makes content like, here's the 7 best shoegaze songs of the summer, and introduces your music to their audience. These work incredibly well as entry points, but are probably best to be made on a fan account or an outside influence account, which you can learn more about on the video on the screen here. But they're a strong point of entry that really works. I mean, we've seen some artists really blow up. And I've told some stories about how artists I've worked with have literally seen their career reinvigorated from these. But let's be honest, they're not the best thing to be posting on your main account because it's cheesy when you're advertising yourself and you're trying to influence on yourself. So we want to do those with fan accounts or by getting influencers to do them. Next, we have highly produced chop downs. Now, this is the polished content you've made, like music videos. We've really covered how to do this well in our members video discussion of the artist Black Swan, since they're a prime example of these being actually the highest poll that brings people in because they made such well executed content. It's kind of fine if these are your best performing videos. But these are well executed, professionally edited clips that are made usually from your music videos, unless you're producing these specifically for SFVs like some people do. Think color corrected, visually striking material that immediately communicates quality and intention. While music videos perform great on YouTube in long form, the likelihood of your music video being what performs best consistently on short form video apps is unlikely. But for some artists, this is what performs best and is a great entry point, and if it works well, that's fine. And when you're not creating this type of content, you're missing opportunities to entertain people and make them feel like your page is a place where they want to spend time with an artist who's genuinely on top of their game. Since the high-end content we make shows people that you really take this seriously and entertains them and creates aura. But next we have BTS content, which is of course behind the scenes content. Yes, just because they're coming back does not mean we're making K-pop videos. Now, the viewers who see these videos and don't know you will see that you're part of their culture if they see you and see a striking artist, or they bond with your personality being a part of their culture. But this is mostly for your pre-existing fans to get people to form a relationship with you and go deeper with you. And most of the rest of the content in this 10-poll chart is for those who are already seeing your videos a bit and considering going deeper with you, or the pre-existing fans who already follow you and are staying entertained, and you're promoting to them to remind them to stream your song and re-up their relationship with you. But most of the time, these are not going to be the first things that people see from you, since they're not going to get the most views, but they're there to reinforce and get people to go deeper with you and start to understand you better so that they can see more from you. Next, we have biography content. These are videos that help people understand who you are as a person and artist. This might be explaining how your hometown influences your music, sharing the crazy story of how your band met in a bar fight, or any personal narratives that help people understand why you create art the way you do. Next, we have disguised announcement videos. This is crucial. We all need to get our announcements seen because we want people to come to shows, know our new songs are out, know our albums are out, etc. And if you don't disguise them, well, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Actually, you're basically like chopping off both legs. What? An announcement video that's just a flyer for a show without disguising the announcement in an engaging way is guaranteed to perform poorly. I have a whole video where I show how the artist Honey Revenge disguises their announcement videos so they actually get views, and you could watch that and it's in the roadmap right here. But basically you're disguising your announcement inside content that gives people a reason to stick around and actually absorb the information. If you just post an announcement, almost no one will see it and fewer people will engage. Now at the back of the tent, we have the content that's much more for the people who are already inside and following you. First, we have user-generated content, which I know is a little bit weird for some of you, since obviously when users make content about you, that can help you go viral. But for your followers, since we're talking about what you're posting, when you're stitching, duetting, or hitting repost on them, this is largely just going to go to your most engaged fans. Which is why I say this is in the back of the tent. But let's be real, UGC is really helpful, and one of the reasons we stitch, duet, and repost them is because we want to encourage your fans to do more of it. And of course, lastly, we have you doing trending sounds. And I know a lot of you are confused by this, since you get told this is how you build an account and get followers. But that's for influencers, not you. And I've shown time and time again, this is not how music artists blow up their songs by doing trending audio from other artists. But what it can do sometimes is show your fans your personality, which is why I like trending audio, since the right audio acted out or done with a fun spin gets fans to understand you and be able to relate to you when they see the contrast of how you do it compared to other artists. But listen, all those videos, there's no real order to post those in. There's no right answer. So many of you want a right answer, but let yourself off the hook. After you've done those audience finding videos, which really should come first, and then the user generated can usually come after the first week or two, that's really the only order. The rest of them, you can just scatter and do variety as you see fit, and don't take it too seriously. Have fun with it. There's no exactly right answer, and we can't run two versions of life to test anything, so no one knows the exact answer for each artist, since every artist's audience is different. Let yourself off the hook and scatter those videos as you see fit. And if you're really curious about this, this is so much of what my next videos are about, so you should really lock in with this channel and get subscribed to my mailing list, where I put out 2 newsletters every week of things like this, and you won't miss a video. Lastly, before we get started walking you through what to do each day, I want to discuss one of the big other differences in this plan, is that we're going to incorporate promoting your old songs into the promotion plan. So from 2024 going into 2025, it became increasingly common for older songs to blow up on TikTok. that artists were occasionally making videos about as they would promote their new songs. Whether it's Leon Thomas, Lola Young, Julia Wolf, hell, as I look at the Viral 50 as I write this on the second to last week of 2025, I see a half a dozen songs on the charts that were released over 9 months ago the artist kept pushing short form videos of every week or three until they finally hit. Sometimes when you release a song, it's not the right vibe or time of the year, or you find a new part of the algorithm and the song finds an audience and starts to take off. The point is, bringing in your back catalog of songs that you either really believe in or have seen the audience take a liking to but hasn't fully taken off should be in your plan of what to pepper in throughout the days of this plan. And I'll particularly walk you through how you decide how much of that to do as you promote. Okay, so it's release day, and you're now going to put your song on all the streaming services and release a minimum viable video on YouTube. Release day is your day to make a lot of noise. And I'm actually going to graze over this a bit since I made a whole video on how to make a huge splash on release day, and it's a video that should be covered all unto itself because there's a lot to do. I mean, it's the biggest day of your release. And let's be honest, we don't want another 10 minutes on this long video. So if you want to watch that video right now, it's in the description below. Anyway, there's another big thing I want to go over so you understand this release plan. One of the things we have to remember about TikTok Reels and Shorts, which we're sometimes going to call short form videos or SFVs throughout this video, is that it's so much different than the other social media platforms, and that even if you have no followers, these videos can get served to a lot of people, and it's highly unlikely that will happen on the day you post it. Most short form videos are watched over time, and day one is really not it when you don't have a lot of followers. But so many artists think they need their strongest short form video to be on day one. But much like how I argue you shouldn't put out your best song first and build up momentum using focus tracks, it's the same with short form videos. On day one we want to make and put out the short form video platforms, it is important to be a video where you introduce yourself to people. I made a video about realizing in a For You page world, we're talking to strangers more than followers, so we want to give more context as if they don't know anything about you. Too many people talk to just their followers when they barely have any. And particularly since the first video of a sound is always pinned to the top of TikTok, we want people to see the artist name and know the story. And it's way easier to follow along if it starts with that, as that starts to go viral. And while this isn't always the case in Instagram and YouTube, I bet they'll be copying this feature soon, and it's also a smart way to introduce it to a cold audience who probably doesn't know who you are. Let's also remember, drive people to Spotify. When you're just promoting the song, if your friends are posting from their artist accounts to listen to you and they make similar music, we want them to send them there, since if your song is getting listens, it's most likely going to go into the algorithm. We'll link to YouTube later after you put out your lyric videos and your music videos, but the first 2 weeks of your song's release are super determinative if it gets into the Spotify algorithm, so we want to try our best to start off strong on that platform and get it in. So one of the things I've been seeing in the dissections of my member feed is some new patterns of what works for the artists that blow up, which by the way, for $5 a month, you get over 6 hours of videos every month where I explain the latest social media trends, answer your questions, listen to your music, and give critiques of it. And there's over 120 videos of back catalog there of different next level knowledge that will blow your mind. And I dissect all these different artists who are blowing up right now and going from 0 fans to now making their dreams come true. And as well, I do a Q&A where you're able to ask questions every single week. So you should really tap in there, and there's a link in the description. But I want to show you a thing I've seen work for many of the artists we've dissected on that member feed and others I've observed. What we want to do is identify a few different types of videos you can make. Really the best strategy I see from these artists is they're often alternating between around 4 different types of themed videos. And what I mean by this is it can be 4 different themes that you're trying out, that you've written down, that are different ways of discussing your song. What we often do is we make those 4 ideas repeatedly, since what we see over and over again is that oftentimes they don't do great the first time, but the second or third, it may really hit, especially if you go in with the mindset of, how can I improve this each time you try it out? And musicians often cycle between the 4 ideas, trying to improve them a little each time. But for the first week, I suggest if you don't have a ton of followers to do what I call audience finding videos. These are, of course, those videos where you talk about your genre or other similar groups. Since short form video apps use these as clues as who to serve you to, it can help find you fans. If you want to learn more about these, head to the description of this video for the video I made on that. So many of you like to say, oh, my fans are going to get sick of this, but really, most of your fans aren't going to see all of your videos anyway. But this helps there be some variety, and it helps up the chance that one of your older songs gets discovered and has a moment and gives you some momentum. And remember, old songs are the best promotion of your new song, just as your new song is the best promotion of your back catalog. Oh yeah, but let's get back to something you should do on your release day before we get to the second day. One of the things so many people overlook these days is that the grid on Instagram is still really, really fucking important. You need to make a carousel post on your grid of a few images, 3 to 9 usually does the trick, and make a carousel with a description that talks about your music and says something vulnerable or gives the audience something they would share with their friends or comment on, like asking a question. Really helps get these seen by as many people as possible. But let me tell you, if you scroll your Instagram feed on the grid for a while, you're gonna see people you don't follow. And if you do a good job with this, people will see your song announced. So on to day 2. This is where most of you already begin to fall off. It's time to tell a story about the song on Instagram in that grid post. We gotta keep this going and maintain interest. Remember, the game is to keep any conversation around the story of the song you're telling, and you're gonna try to make this a day where the socially skilled person in your group can stay up on comments and keep your post spreading. I wanna make a note about what so many people mess up on day 2. With any luck, people will mention your song in their stories, but try to avoid oversharing those and instead only reward the best few. And if you worry about disappointing fans who shared your songs and stories, instead, all those people who didn't make the best story to share your song, I would send them an audio message in their DMs and personally thank them, since this will be just as good, if not better, than a share, as well as ramping up their enthusiasm to you even more. And potentially, you should add them to your close friends, since you haven't seen my video about the funnel to getting people even more excited about you on Instagram. Well, that's on the roadmap right now, and you should really watch that when this is done. But for short form videos, we're gonna post another video of the song, which should probably be one of those audience finding videos. This can be a text overlay video if you have no other ideas, but probably should be an audience finding video. And this is where you take the hook of your song and overlay your lyrics and text on it using your background. And remember, we're gonna use the same hook of the song over and over again in every short form video. And I should say, whenever I talk about telling a story, you can post that story to any of the short form text apps, like Twitter or X, Threads, Blue Sky, whatever. If you're posting pictures and a story, all of them can handle doing that. And if you're posting a minimum viable video, well, link it there. Tell the stories you do in text and post the pictures you do in these apps and drive them up here. And really, anything you do on YouTube or Spotify should get linked from all your short form text apps. Okay, it's day 3. It's Thursday, and we're gonna continue promoting and posting short form videos and stories around your song. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of repetition here. And there's a lot of days where we'll be doing the same as the day before, and we're in the same mode here as we're posting short form videos and stories on Instagram and TikTok. Now I should say, in the past we used to talk about in this section staggering posts and sometimes having them delay on the different apps, but I'm starting to not see that being very effective anymore. The amount of effort we put into staggering posts so that a different post lands on TikTok one day and Reels another just really isn't worth all it's cracked up to be. Just post them all on the same day. On day 4, it's now Friday, and you're fighting against all the other acts making music. So now is a great time to use that to your advantage and update your Spotify artist playlist that curates the best new music from your genre and add some new releases that are out. And promote that playlist is now updated, since after all, Friday is the day to listen to new music. Let's share it and tag the small groups that you added to it on Threads, Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram in a story. And if you don't know about this technique that I use to build fans that's super effective with Spotify artist playlists, the video I made is linked in the description and on the screen now in the roadmap. Some people even put ads in this playlist. I talked about it in my video with the artist Jen, which you can see in this roadmap as well. But these playlists help you get algorithmic connections to other artists so you get recommended to the fans and get in the Spotify algorithm, which can get you a lot of fans. And on this day, I also make sure to add the minimum viable video to my playlist of all my singles on YouTube. And we're gonna put up a bunch of other short form videos, and some of you are like, Jesse, how many of these are we gonna do? And to that I say, bruh, I don't know if you've received the memo, but posting 30 to 60 short form videos is breaking a lot of songs where the artists were totally unknown and now have a great career and thousands to millions of plays. But one of the other notes I should make is that one of the things people always ask me is how many stories should they be doing through all this on Instagram and on TikTok. And one of the real things we've seen is that one story a day is most often the best answer. You don't have to be afraid of doing more than that, but really just try to get up one every day, and sometimes that could just be sharing the sick reel or TikTok you posted. That's totally fine. But one story a day is really about the effort you want to make. But anyway, we want to put another one of those short form videos up. And today I would really put up one of those ones that shows who you are as an artist or something unique about you that sets you apart from others. On day 5 and 6, I'm going to combine it since it's the weekend. And since, as we said, less people are on the internet and social media, so the weekend isn't as effective. So I try to keep this promo light. And one of the reasons I like releasing a song on Tuesday instead of Friday is you don't get that uphill battle of having days 2 and 3 of your promotion beyond the weekend. Instead, you've had 4 weekdays to push it. And now is a great time to do some personality posts and do some of those smaller things in the back of the tent we talked about, like the BTS and all that, since these are less likely to be the ones that really make you pop off. And you should show yourself and what you're doing on the weekend in your Instagram stories and share those pics on short form text apps. And we want to give it an emotional call to action to listen to your song, rather than just out now, since listeners are way more likely to stream it if you appeal to their emotions. So for example, for one of my songs for my joke band Incel Hypebeast, Meet Cute at the Purge, we're gonna try to make a call to action that says, this is the most messed up love song of all time. I had a meet cute at the Purge. Can you even imagine? And also, while you make your Instagram story or your TikTok story, put the song as its background. But we're trying to make content here that's fun for those who follow you with less over promotion, since we shouldn't waste time doing just promotion on the weekend. And let's remember this, the biggest thing people don't get about music is what it really is. Music is a mood-altering drug that makes you feel a way you'd rather be feeling. So the key to these posts is to show people how they could be feeling if your track was playing. So if it's a slow classical piano piece, maybe post a beautiful video of some rain on a glass. If it's named something like my song, Meet Cute at the Purge, it's time to show a strange way you found love. We want to keep these simple, and you can steal footage from movies and warp it or whatever you stock footage from Unsplash that's free, whatever you'd like. Okay, but it's now day 7. Let's make a Facebook post, since we sometimes have to use Facebook. And we're going to share a picture of that Facebook post on your Instagram story, since one of the things we're going to be doing throughout this is showing pictures of different things you do on the platforms so people follow you everywhere that are really enthused about you. Since we really want to diversify how people follow you, since you never know when one of these apps is going to stop working. But for your short form video for this day, this is another one where it's the first week of promoting this song, so we really want to show something that makes you special. But it could also be something that's storytelling about the song. If there's an interesting way you wrote it, if it's about something that's particularly emotional or vulnerable, well, tell a story. And if some of you are like,
what the fuck is this dude talking about with stories?
Storytelling is how you actually blow up on social media a lot of the time. If you don't get that, watch the part of the roadmap on that. Day 8, your song has now been out for a week, and if you really want to get engagement, tell people something vulnerable that they can latch onto and tie it back to the song. For example, when I wrote Meet Cute at the Purge, I realized I was engaging in a lot of self-destructive behavior. I did really love my life, but I wasn't acting like it. I had to change my behavior to reflect that.
What?
See? That was vulnerable. But this is another perfect day to put up a carousel. I mean, listen, putting up a grid post carousel every week is a stretch for a lot of people, but if you're the photo taking type, go off. Day 9, now that your song has been out for that week, let's remember, we're gonna stop those audience finding videos. They're kind of on the side of the aura to slop scale of slop, and well, we don't want to punish the audience with those too much. So if you've been doing those, it's time to let it be and see if the audience gets found. So now we want to cycle through the other polls of the 10 polls, but we particularly want to be concentrating on the 2 highest polls in there. On day 10, it's the same mindset that goes on here as the day before. On day 11, it's Friday. So let's say your first Spotify artist playlist was that one, and it was like the best Wojak core artists, and they're all brand new and they're underground, whatever. I talk a lot about how to do these playlists in other videos. But today, you can do a different playlist and promote that. Since there's many angles many of you have. You can do your local scene, a theme around your music, like if you make depressing songs that sound happy, well, make a playlist of the best depressing songs that still sound happy. Put your song in a context around other songs and let people make algorithmic connections to it by running it up, and linking them into it will help make that happen. Then promote it just like we did the last one, and try to take advantage of people looking for new music by helping them go on autopilot. Day 12 and 13, it's the freaking weekend, and it's time to do what we did last weekend and do it a bit more. But here's gonna be my little tweak. If you happen to be up late around 10 p.m. to 12 a.m., make sure you post your song then. Many people are alone and vibing, and one of the weirdest phenomenons I've seen when I've tracked clicks is that you can get weird spikes off sharing at this time for people who are just hanging out solo since no one else is promoting their music on the weekend late at night, since there's so many people who are home alone doing nothing. Day 14. It's a Monday again. Now, enough time has passed so that people are hopefully vibing hard on your song. Push your Tribly here or your lay low and trade a cover, an alternate version of a song, or an unreleased song so we can get texts and emails. We want to have more people who are enjoying your music in your email list and text list so that you can push your next song with it and promote your video. Try to capitalize on people's enthusiasms, and you'll also get a Spotify follow using one of these tools. Also, if you've had any press by now, this is a great time to share it, as you've probably gotten some momentum and you could really try to convert those people who aren't taking it seriously that they should listen to your song. Day 15, it's time to release your lyric video or visualizer. So let's talk about the visuals and the mood of the song. Single out some lyrics and expand upon them. And if you don't feel like explaining your lyrics, talk about lyrics in other people's songs and draw it back to your song. But now, I want you to stop and take some consideration and look at your analytics and think about how things are going promoting this song. If you watched my recent 4-hour video on how you grow from 0 to a million fans, one of the things you all really seemed to respond to was when I talked about not looking at your analytics unless you have a plan for what to do if things aren't going well. And well, if your song is performing worse than usual, unless you're still in algorithmic jail, or if you really believe in it, it may be time to start pushing some old songs that have performed better than this one and see if you can help make that song take off. And depending on how much back catalog you have, consider promoting your new song less and more popular songs from your back catalog more often in this cycle. I trust you to figure out how much to stop pushing your new song and add the old songs into this. And it's also a good time to reflect here on if you want to put your next song out after 6 weeks of promoting this one, or if you should take it the full 8 weeks or even longer because it's going really well. For some of you, this can be important since you feel like you just want to move on, and putting that song up on your distributor today will give you a whole month to get it set up for success for the next song that you post as you upload it to your distributor 28 days in advance, just like I advise. But day 16, it's time to remind people you just put up the lyric video and then drop it in the playlist of your own discography on Spotify. And let everyone see that playlist link. And also do the same on your YouTube discography playlist. 2 days after the lyric videos dropped, I replaced it in my playlist and talk about another song that my fans hopefully enjoyed, since nothing else gets people listening to a song like thinking they're going to get an emotional feeling from a song that they already liked. On day 17, we're going to do the same as the day before. Day 18, it's Friday. It's time to share your playlist of music you've been enjoying of other artists similar to you, and tag them in it just like we did the previous Friday. And one of the things you can do if you're really running low on gas and need to do some shortcuts is you can cut up each time in your lyric video that your hook happens that you're promoting and put it up as a short form video. Day 19 and 20, it's the same drill as the other weekends, but this time we're gonna schedule in Instagram for super early in the morning on Sunday, and try to catch those early birds who are up reading social media on their phone. Use the schedule function in Facebook Creator Studio for Instagram and Facebook, and Twitter can be scheduled inside TweetDeck, Later, or any of those social media apps. But let's try to catch a different crowd than we've been catching. On day 21, let's do an Instagram live with everyone who worked on the song with you, or another artist if you do it all yourself, and get someone else's audience to get hip to you. The idea is their followers will see you talking and hopefully discover you, and you should definitely play the song in your stream. On day 22, get creative here. Let's find a fun way to talk about your song that's different than the other days. It can be a story from the recording, Wikipedia, something you reference in the lyrics, and talk about some aspect you haven't before. Put that in a story. Put it in the grid post. Do something creative and interesting here. It can be a reel and a TikTok too. On day 23, let's zone in on a lyric from the video and tell a story about it. In fact, let's Google variations on the lyric and make some jokes about the other songs that have lyrics similar to yours, and maybe find some playful way of mentioning the lyrical theme you have and how other people have talked about it. This idea is super popular on short form video apps and can get people to pay attention to your song to hear the end if you do it right. On day 24, let's look through the SFV 10 polls and pick another one that you can pull from. On day 25, it's Friday again. Let's update your second playlist and push it out. On day 26 and 27, yep, it's the weekend. But to change up the weekend, we're gonna ask followers a question to interact with you on Instagram. It can just be one of those ask me anything things. But doing a Q&A is often one of the best ways to drive your stories in the algorithm and then tie some of those questions back to you. In fact, you can even have friends ask questions about your song to place it. But we're going to try to juice the algorithm by using one of the easiest ways to get into Instagram's algorithm and do these Q&As. On day 28, let's do a flashback to your past and put it in context with your new song and talk about how far you've come. People love a hero's journey for musicians. Let's also on your story preview the music video with an image. Put up something that's striking and remind people to listen to the song and hopefully get psyched to watch the music video. And I want you to do something a little bit different here. It's now time to look back at the SFVs that you've been making and see what's done best and learn from this. And then I want you to iterate upon the ones that have been doing well and think about them from the perspective of how can you improve upon them and take them to a next level. Whatever is working best, let's try to do even better versions of them and post those in the coming week. On day 29, release the music video and go wild like it's release day. Seriously, treat this the way I suggested in my release day video and really bring the song to the full promotion it deserves. As well, I made a video on how to turn your music video into short form videos, and you should do that and repeat the hook as many times as you can pull from the footage. And don't be afraid if there's a great scene that doesn't play your hook to also put that up as one of the short form videos. It's now been a month since you last promoted the song heavily and did a day of nonstop promotion. Repost stories people tell, do everything you can. And this is the best time to do it since music videos offer the best way to interact with the song. But today is another inflection point. If your song is doing really, really well and you don't have an alternate version, it may be time to get that moving so you can pour more fuel on the fire of the song. But if it's performing badly, well, like we discussed 2 weeks ago, we should consider cycling in even more old songs. Today is also that day where if you're doing the 8-week version of the plan, you'd be scheduling your next song for release. And if things are going really, really well, you may need more than 8 weeks since you may want to do another music video, do a collaboration or some remixes, and push back the release of your next song. Well, today's the day to make that decision. But seriously, this can be confusing. But just make a decision on this day and then stick to it. Everything will be okay no matter what you decide, I promise. On day 30, we just had the biggest event of the single release, the moment we've been building up to. So it's time to go wild. Let's really push this thing and be shameless. And 2 days after the music video drops, I add the song to my music videos playlist. I take the single screen and lyric videos out of any playlist I need to. I tell a story about it on Instagram and TikTok, as well as making a community note about it on YouTube. Day 31, same thing here. And I should say, at this point, a lot of you are getting really tired or out of ideas. So remember something. Instagram has straight up said that they will push you in the algorithm if you make 10 reels a month. And we see in my member dissections, the musicians who do post at least 3 times a week, well, they often get in the algorithm. So if it feels like the song didn't work, you can slow down to just 3 posts a week if you really feel the need to get the next song set up for success. On day 32, it's time to update your similar artist playlist on Spotify again and tag the artist in it. And hopefully by now you've received some UGC, which is short for user-generated content, which you can be stitching and reposting in addition to your original content. But really from here on out, we should really be relying on UGC, clipping your music video and the different scenes from it, and finding ways to contextualize it and the other tentpoles that we see. On day 33 to 34, if you've captured some of your behind the scenes footage from your music video, share those over the weekend and in your stories and tweet them out here or there and tell a little story behind them. On day 35, yet again, let's refer to the SFV tentpoles. On day 36, your fans have now had a week to watch your music videos. So tonight we're going to go on Instagram Live with everyone involved in the video, the director, any actors, a photographer who was involved, etc. Invite them on one at a time and talk about the song and what else they're working on. And most of all, play the damn video. On this day, if things are going well, we should really think about doing something new and shaking things up and seeing if we can get more fuel on the fire. Can you collab with another artist on a video and get into each other's algos? Is there something that you've seen work in previous weeks that can take this promo to a whole other level? If things are going well by now, really dare yourself to go further and go deeper into your artistry and think about what you can make that will really get people to share these videos. Should you launch an open verse challenge where you play the hook of your song and an instrumental afterwards, which could be a chorus or a verse, and allow it to be duetted on TikTok or Reels, and hopefully users will create content around your hook. Think of something that can make this go further. On day 37, your video's been out for a week, so let's talk about one of the visuals in it or give a glimpse on what's in it and make a post about it. On day 38, let's show a picture of you hard at work on an upcoming song, but now let's play up how this latest song is just the beginning and how the song that you're promoting is influencing the new one. On day 39, and I know you're gonna be shocked here, but we're going to do another update to your playlist and keep pushing your new song next to similar music to you so we can hopefully get some of those similar artist fans to hear your new song. Seriously, this only takes an hour to do one of these. It's such great promotion and really has been blowing up so many artists in our community. On day 40 and 41, let's mix up some of those techniques we did on the other weekends and look through your analytics and see if any of those morning posts or those late night posts work better than others, and let's do what worked best again and push the music video. On day 42, we're going to look at the SFE 10 polls again and work off those. Okay, but now we get to day 43 through 60. So this is another inflection point, and sometimes things are fizzling out, and it's time to add in those old songs pretty much exclusively. Sometimes, though, it's going so well that we may want to continue pushing back that next song you were going to release to give more time to tell stories and do the different SFE 10 polls, or work on doing remixes, collabs, and alternate versions and keeping this conversation going around this song because it's still popping off and growing every day, and we should not stop pushing it. And I will say this, just as I said before, the best promotion for back catalog is a new song, but sometimes taking your foot off the gas is really a mistake. So we really got to think about how things are going, and if it's going 2 or 4 times better, or even more than that, of any other song you've done, you may not want to take the gas off the pedal right now and keep making more videos and thinking about those alternate versions that you can make. And most of all, not releasing that next song since we got to keep going on this one. But on day 43, we either start again right here because it's been 6 weeks, or we release an alternate version of your song, or keep promoting that alternate version the way we did in previous weeks. For the last 2 weeks, promote your alternate version just the same way you've been promoting this version. Look through this SFE 10 polls and sustain this until the next song comes out. And obviously, in my plan for your song, I show where you should start promoting the pre-save links and promoting the next song and teasing it out. If you're not going to release an alternate version of your song, pick from the SFE 10 polls on here and just keep cycling through them as much as you can until we get to the next song. But the key is to just keep going and show people you're taking this song seriously and remind them to listen to it. By now, I'm sure you've picked up the rules and the patterns for the next 2 weeks, and you should continue these patterns until you release your next song and then start that campaign. But I should say, there's another piece of this puzzle that's really interesting, which is I came out with this Instagram funnel since so many of you asked me about how you make fans bigger fans, and I have a really interesting answer that's been working really, really well for both making your content go viral, each song perform better, and getting fans to buy merch and tickets from you. And if you want to learn about that, well, that video is on the screen right now or in the description, and you should really tap in there and watch it since it's so crucial to how artists grow, and many of your favorite artists aren't even hip to how good this new technique is.